Winky face. Nerf this.
That's the first time I've ever done that! Hey, longtime Overwatch player here, Nateson. Today, you will learn how to win a game of Overwatch. This is a special video since it's sponsored by Blizzard. Thank you guys for letting me do this. I just got done signing the $100 million contract, so we're all set to begin. I'm gonna reveal my secrets to winning a game of Overwatch, and you're probably asking yourself, how can someone be qualified to teach about winning a game of Overwatch? And that is a great question, because Jeff Kaplan himself asked that very question, and so he searched the Overwatch databases and found the singular account that has never lost a game, one person, and that account's name was Nateson. All jokes aside, let's break down Overwatch by the different game modes. We have Escort, Assault, Control, and Hybrid. Can we start with my favorite? Because it's Control. Control is my favorite mode because everyone starts on offense. To let you in on some Overwatch community lingo, we call this mode King of the Hill a lot because both teams are trying to fight for the same point at the same time, and whoever holds it to 100% wins the round. All of the control maps are mirrored, which means there is no respawn advantage. This is important to know, and everyone starts on the same footing. I have two pieces of winning advice for this mode. Number one is making sure when the round starts, our team tries to fight on the point, not around it, but on it. If we can set up our tanks on the point and make the other team trying to push us off, it makes it harder for them. Number two is, when you control the point, move up and hold the enemy team at their choke point. This puts us at a tremendous position advantage and forces the enemy team to really coordinate if they want to have any hope at taking the point away from us. Also, a final thought for this mode, and something that can be seen honestly in all modes, is you'll start to see people like playing certain heroes on certain maps because some heroes just have such a great, unique advantage because of their kit and how it works with the map. So looking at the control maps, if you take Ilios, and Ilios well in particular, you usually see a Roadhog because there's a literal well in the middle of the map, and you can use your hook to pull people into it. And then there's also Widowmaker on Ilios Ruins because of the early high ground advantage with a ton of open space for sniping. You'll see Soldier 76 on Oasis City Center a lot because of the high ground that's right on the point. You'll start to see this in your games and figure out who's being played on what maps. And this is because each control map is actually made out of 3 different maps where they all come together to make one control map. And they have unique advantages and disadvantages for certain heroes. So it's important to be flexible with your hero picks. Okay, so next we have the Assault maps, which is usually referred to as 2CP by the community, or 2 capture points. These are the maps where you take turns on offense and defense, where the defenders have the first point high ground advantage and the second point respawn advantage. That's typically what you'll see. Now, these are very hard to push through on offense and take a ton of coordination. On Assault, especially pushing the second point, you are really going to need to make sure you are communicating with your team. I thought long and hard about, okay, what am I doing in my games to help win on Assault? There's one major example I want to give you, and this is going to be like my entire Assault winning advice. And that is, this is critical here, making sure that when you're taking the second point, which is where teams usually get stuck and lose, make sure your healers are not on point with you. Now, typically what I mean by that is healers like Ana and Zen and Bapt that don't need to be on point because they can play from a range. Your range healers should be back by wherever the choke point is. They should be shooting you from a distance and healing you instead of being on point and potentially dying and you guys losing. That is one of the biggest things that I see, especially when you're looking at it from a competitive sense, like low ranks to high ranks. High ranks, the Ana players will sit back at chokes and they know to shoot you from a distance, so that it is really hard for the enemies to go jump on the healers and take them out, because they're one of the most crucial parts of the fight happening is the healers, and they are the ones that need to be eliminated. I have a perfect example of this on Volskaya Industries, me talking to my Ana live in-game through the team chat saying, Ana, make sure you get back behind us, you don't need to be on point, and we would go on to win that game. 2, WWWW, up 3, WWW, on point, Ana, sit back a little bit, you don't need to be on point. Ana, go back to like main. Yeah, right there. Rally us. It's really such a strong setup if you have your healers positioned like this on assault maps, and you should be thinking like this across all maps and game modes. Okay, how can I help position my teammates and tell them where they can be playing to help set us up for a win? Another mode I'm going to share some tips with you on is Escort. The objective here is a payload, and the team that pushes it the farthest across the map wins. These maps tend to be bigger and get harder as you approach the last, what we would call, quote unquote, phase of the map, where the defenders start to get a respawn advantage. A great example of an escort map is Watchpoint Gibraltar. The flow of this map is constantly changing with each escort phase, and you can utilize the high ground to try and gain an advantage. Winning Overwatch games in Escort require a lot of map knowledge. You really want to know where the health packs are, know where the popular flanks are, know the common pathing a team will take. Once you master these, you'll start to put yourself in a better position to win. You'll also be recognizing popular places that certain heroes will hold, such as knowing a Widowmaker or a Hanzo will probably be playing the window on Third Point Havana. You'll know what to expect and be better prepared to take them on, or at least where to hide from. Another aspect of winning a score is knowing that you can play up past the cart. You don't have to put your entire team on the cart and push it together. You could put just one or two back there and have the rest of the team play up and try to buy a whole bunch of space so that you can push the cart even more. And that tip I just gave you right there is a really big deal when it comes down to your gameplay and can really swing some games for you to win. The last game mode in Overwatch is Hybrid, and you already know how to win these. I just taught you. Hybrid is a combination of assault and escort. You assault the first point, and then you escort a payload the rest of the way. If you combine my teachings you just learned of the two modes, you'll be good to go. Hybrid is really cool because the second you're done assaulting that first point, and then it turns into an escort map, you can quickly have your team switch to a Bastion and put him on the payload, and now you have a completely new strategy that works for the rest of the map. And it's really fun, and you can work through things like this. And that Bastion strat I just gave you, by the way, actually can win so many games, and you can domino effect the enemy team. They'll have no idea what just hit them because they were used to just playing against your other heroes, and now you're playing Protect the Bastion on the cart. You can do some cool things with that. So yeah, those are some of my winning tips. A huge thank you to Blizzard for sponsoring this video and letting me be part of this. I hope everyone has a great rest of the night. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.